thing that I really loved about this screening of Black Eve and this audience in this theater is the style of film we wanted to make. I mean, Neil Green, who's right here, who plays the man. He also is a producer on the film. And basically he came to me, and we had already worked together a couple of times, and he basically said, I have this mall. And, 2 floors is like 50,000 square feet, and it's like, wow, yeah, there's no way I'm going to say no to doing a film here. And the only condition, though, because like we started putting things together, going to get a red cam, shoot it really nice, stylized, and then all of a sudden, I find out we only have 6 days in the mall. And, you can't shoot a feature film in 6 days. Well, people say you can, and we're the type of filmmakers that we won't take can, we're just going to go, we're going to do it, and that's what we did. And basically, when I looked at the idea of we have 6 days in this mall, and right before that I just shot this art house horror film, I really wanted to just kind of play homage to the films I grew up watching. And my parents, they used to let me watch The Shining, The Exorcist, and these stylized, beautiful horror films, and they liked the idea of, scary movies. So the only way I could rebel, the only way I could kind of, have something to hide from them was if I really went to the down and dirty, like Video Nasties, SSL Camp Driller Killer, things like that. Just the types of films that no one would approve of. And doing Black Eve, I was kind of thinking, we got to do like breakneck speed here, like shoot 6 days in this mall. So I've got to make sure like we do something down and dirty. And, we decided let's shoot on P2. Give it that kind of old look to it as well, kind of like that stylized look that you'd have in those 80s horror films, and basically do this kind of cool slasher movie. And, it worked out exactly how I wanted it to. We spent a lot of time in post really playing everything down because I didn't want it to be fresh, I didn't want it to be new. I wanted to add like a different kind of art feel to it, but at the same time, one of the interesting things is this one film reviewer who reviewed the film, he talked about the fact that he didn't like the fact that we had, we showed the dead body before you actually saw how they died, because he said that got rid of the suspense of who lives and who dies. And my thought is, Jesus Christ, man, it's a slasher film from the 80s. Like, I can watch any Friday the 13th film and in 5 minutes tell you who lives, who dies, and the order they die in. This isn't that film where you're supposed to be like, afraid whether a person's going to get away from the killer. The idea is everybody dies. The idea is everybody dies, and it's down, it's dirty, it's grungy, and, so it was just like, the end result of what Black Eve is exactly what we wanted it to be, so I'm really excited to send it out to some festivals this year. And this cast of ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming along with me on this and doing your bit for kind of bringing back kind of that Video Nasty style.
I wasn't reviewer when you were talking about that too. I just want to, I want to add to that. I'm willing just a little commentary about that. The more you know about horror films, I think the more you're kind of thrown by the twist actually, because it's what I thought was really cool about it, Ryan, was that it kind of plays by what I call it starts off like a by the numbers slasher film, and you're kind of playing up to expectations. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, this is what you're saying, you can guess the body count almost, kind of thing like that. And so you're kind of playing into people's prior expectations of 80s horror films, and like kind of that, even just having in the mall with like just like Dawn of the Dead and the Friday the 13th, and there's little nods to Halloween and things like that through like that. So you're kind of playing, I thought it was really clever that you were playing up all those expectations and then pull the rug underneath you after the end.
Yeah, exactly. The whole idea, because as much as I try to steer away from the art house horror, I mean, like, I'm a big David Lynch fan, and there's always little elements of it. The new film, Sick, is a zombie film, one we just shot last month, and that one I made sure I steered clear of all art house and just made, like, this gritty, scary zombie film. But, like, with Black Eve, the whole idea behind that was, at the same time, I want to still introduce those elements of my style as to who I am, and, who I am is adding in this psychological element to it. I mean, even when I'm doing this down and dirty kind of film, it's still got to have those kind of psychological styles. And I know the last time we screened the film, a few people kind of thought we went a little over top with Emily's crotch staff. Yeah, I'll let her comment on that. But like the whole satanic ritual abuse syndrome, it actually plays into that. So there's a rhyme and reason for everything that is in the film and everything that I did with it. So it all kind of fit in there. I mean, did you feel uncomfortable doing that scene?
Not really, no.
What?
So, oddly enough, filming my death scene, and I heard a lot of nervous laughter, so thank you all. I had Ryan's hand down my pants for about a good 10 minutes with the blood rig and all that setting up to film. Preparing for my character, preparing for the death, I did a little bit of research, and there's a lot of rape, there's a lot of symbolism that went into that death. I do kind of have to say, too, it's sort of really flattering to be kind of the final girl in a way, the last one to die before the killer's revealed. But basically, it was one of probably the most comfortable deaths I've ever had on screen.
And by the way, I love your Pimp Daddy outfit. That kicked ass. And it's funny that, you know what I love about watching this stuff with a cast, they go to a lot of these things where there's a lot of casts like that, and it's so surreal because like I went out to get a drink during the movie, and of course I see Neil killing everyone here, and then I see him alone having a drink in the hallway, and it's quite the most surreal moment. Do you want to talk about working on the movie?
Yeah, sure. So, like Ryan mentioned, we had worked a couple times together in the past, and we shot this film called Behind Closed Doors, and it was our first time working with Ryan in the director role. He was the director and we were producing, and it was like we only have 2 days to shoot, but we have 30 pages of script. And if anyone knows anything about shooting, you do about on a normal high budget film, you do 5 pages a day, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. So Ryan's like, yeah, and on an indie film you do 10, and Ryan said, you know what, we can do 15 or 15 a day for 2 days. I'm like, I don't know, but whatever, we'll try it. It's a short, we'll do it, okay? So we did it, and we got 20 pages done, actually, and then we only had to do 5 pages the next day, and cut out the rest of it so we can go home early kind of thing, because we were dead from the day before. That was my first experience working with Ryan, and I was like, okay, Ryan, I got this mall. He's like, yeah, okay, I'm listening. I'm like, okay, we need a feature, because I don't really want to do a short anymore. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm listening, this is amazing. I'm like, we got 6 days. Okay, what is that, like, 30 pages a day? Yeah, it's doable. What? He's like, yeah, I'm totally in, let's do this. And as I've worked with Ryan on multiple projects, it's like, it's kind of cliche, but you develop a trust in his writing, his directing. He's a true actor's director who's just really collaborative. If something's working, it works. If it doesn't work, on the day I'm working on from both sides as an actor and producer. So as an actor, I'm like, am I doing this right? But as a producer, I'm like, yeah, we need to speed this up and cut some pages out, or we're not going to finish this movie. And it's going to be shit. Blah blah blah. Ryan's able to work with the actor Neil and the producer Neil and get it all done. And what you see on stage or on the screen was the end result of that: some vagina stabbing and brain busting and all that. Everyone's like, yeah, is the director or writer really angry at women? And I'm like,
So sweet.
yeah, for real. You think this guy's like a freaking teddy bear? I'm like, I don't know what's scarier, is the teddy bear Ryan or the killer Ryan? Because somewhere in between they're the same person. So as he's saying hi to people, like, hey, how's it going? My name is Ryan. And his head, he's like, I could twist this girl's head off, and I'm gonna put her in blood, and she's gonna look sick in this, and stab her in the face, and in the end you get art. He's artistic like that, So yeah, it was a great project. We had the 6 days of shooting them all, and I got to work with Ryan again, which is always it's always a blast. One of the hardest things on an independent film is just being able to work with people you like. If you have 6 days, you shoot X amount of pages, and if you have one of those diva people on the set, it can just suck. Or if someone sucks the wind out of the film, if they just have a really bad attitude.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Actually, the one thing I said in this movie, I'm like, I'm not gonna do another day in this movie unless you can find some tighter pants. You can't. No, I thought you painted those pants on. Seriously. I think we should have a behind the scenes on your pants. Oh, I do yoga. I'm a vegetarian, so I can wear these pants. Believe it or not, I tried them on. I covered one leg. Anyone else or questions or? Oh yeah.
There you go. Pass it over.
There we go. You ladies want to say anything?
Nah.
I just want to shout out to Chris Cull, who's the editor of the film. I was so impressed. Where is he? You have to be on stage too, buddy. Great job. I loved it. And yes, yeah, I just was really thankful to be a part of the project.
Actually, I just want to jump in with Chris too. I just want to actually thank you, Chris, for doing the video work on the Fangoria set visit to Sick, kind of like that. I didn't give you props for that, so thanks for jumping in there.
Yeah, Chris Cull is the best. And everybody else, too.
I can hear.
I don't know, what?
I'm right here. I can hear you.
Sorry, Ryan.
Those getting bruised.
Fuck you all. So I only signed up for this project to stab somebody in the vagina.
I love you too, dear.
And since I've done it many times, so please stab me.
No more yoga? You quit yoga?
I quit yoga. I turned into a serial killer. It's awesome. No, it was a lot of fun. It was cold. It was wonderful. It was fast. It was so cold.
Oh God.
And-
There's no keys. I was sick for 2
And we
weeks.
were all in our
after.
underwear, so.
This is it. They all had to wear underwear. I had plastic pants.
Remember what I said about
Like-
diva attitude? We worked through it.
I know.
We had them all.
Pain is temporary, film is forever.
And it was wonderful. So it was a lot of fun. So that was it. Anyways, bye.
So, any questions from the audience? We don't have a chord list, so you're gonna have to just shout it out. So.
I'd like to ask each of the council members, what's a favorite horror movie or a character from a horror movie that you use to inform your performance?
Everyone hear that?
Ooh, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't need to start. Got it.
It's funny because Ryan and I were talking about our favorite horror movies before this, and I just brought up the movie Session 9. And I'm not a huge horror movie fan, but I saw this movie and I was like, fuck, it scared the shit out of me. I watched it twice and I was like, ugh. And it's funny because he brought it up and he was like, well, it's kind of like that a bit. And I was like, I'm in. Sign me up. So that's it. That's all I got.
I'm a big fan of Rob Zombie horror films, although it didn't necessarily influence my character. My character was Sexy Girl. So really, that was actually what I was called in the script, yeah. That was a nickname. Eventually, it was one of my more fond nicknames that I had on a set or a play. Little Red Riding Slut was what I was called by the crew, lovingly. But yeah, it's not too hard to dig deep. Every film's got a sexy girl, and we get to, embrace being the first sexy girls that get killed. It's an honor, really.
Oh.
I'm gonna get killed for saying this, but I actually hate horror movies.
I did not know that.
I've always wanted to die, on screen, so it was a pleasure, and I enjoyed being behind the scenes.
Okay, if it makes you feel any better, I'm a giant wuss. I really need someone like I can hug while I'm watching horror films because I will leave teeth marks in you. Regardless, probably one of my favorite ever films is Battle Royale, which is a Japanese sort of killer. Thank you. People know what this is. It's amazing. So, probably my favorite character in the movie is Michiko, which I didn't get to play in this film, but I sort of use Noriko to, she's the one who sort of naive, is the audience's sort of surrogate, explains everything. I'd say I probably drew from that a little bit, but I was really just excited to get stabbed in the cooch.
How do I follow up that? I'd like to be stabbed in the cooch too. Just saying. I'm not a horror fan per se. I'm just a film fan. I love all movies, all genres. I couldn't pick out one. I didn't draw from anyone in particular, but I had an encyclopedia of horror, or a guru of horror, the director Ryan, who can name every single horror movie ever made alphabetically by year. And you just have one sit down with him, and after the first 2 hours, you're ready to shoot yourself in the face. Because he just knows so much, and it's embarrassing. You just feel like a piece of poo in life. How do I not know this stuff? In 1973, when they did this scene and this, I want you to draw from that. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Ryan. Just tell me what you want. And that's kind of what I did. I just listened to Ryan because I knew nothing I could draw from would be as much as he could draw from.